Hi everybody, my name is Nisha and I am the founder and instructor here at LaBelle Hair Company. Our mission is to help women regain their confidence. What we are going to be doing today, this is a part 2 to the actual first video, which was us speaking in terms of my client experiencing hair loss for 5 years. In this video, we are going to be discussing in detail the actual regimen that my client was put on, as well as going over how her consultation went and the product recommendations that we gave her. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. And if you want to see more of this, please feel free to let us know. Or if you have any other questions, make sure you put them in the comment section. Typically, how our consultations are going to go is we have all of our clients fill out a consultation form. The consultation form is going to let us get a better understanding of the client's hair history, as well as how much they actually know their hair. The very first question that we ask our clients is, are they natural or chemically relaxed? When we speak on if you are natural or if you're chemically relaxed, we're speaking in terms of, do you have any chemicals on your hair? A lot of people don't understand that if you're going to put a rinse on your hair, technically speaking, a rinse is a chemical. So you are no longer natural once you put any type of color on your hair. The next question that we tend to ask our clients is, what is your hair type? Your hair type is obviously going to be 4 different categories. It's either going to be straight, wavy, curly, or coily. If you're someone who prefers the term tight curly instead of coily, then you would be in that segment. As far as your hair texture, when it comes to your hair texture, you're actually going to have a texture of fine, medium, or coarse. And the texture is basically going to speak in terms of the actual hair strand within itself. Now, your hair density is going to be either low, medium, or high. Low, another word for low, can be fine or thin. Medium, meaning it's in between. High, you're gonna say high or thick if you're someone who has thick hair. Not a lot of people have thick hair. Not a lot of people have fine or low density hair. Not a lot of people have medium hair. Everyone's hair is structured differently, which is why everyone is going to embark on a different hair care routine than the next person. The next question that we ask is your hair color treated? She responded no. After that, we're asking in terms of your scalp. How is your scalp? Is your scalp dry? Is it normal, or is it oily? In this particular case, the client acknowledged that her scalp was dry. If the client would have answered that her scalp was oily, then we will go to the next question, which will be, how oily does your scalp get within 2 days of shampooing? She responded and said her scalp isn't oily, so obviously this question wouldn't concern her. Next, which is the very important question, how often do you shampoo your hair? The biggest misconception that one would have is they feel as though they have to shampoo their hair often, or they have to take long breaks within them shampooing their hair. The biggest myth that a lot of people have is feeling that dirty hair grows. That term is incorrect, or that quote is incorrect. And the reason why it's incorrect is because if you have dirty hair, that dirty hair is a bacteria's playground. And with that being said, with bacteria growth, it can cause scalp irritation, which can then lead to a scalp disease, which can then lead to hair loss or not being able to retain hair length or hair growth. So you definitely want to make sure that you understand what type of hair you have, as well as what texture you have, and how often you should be shampooing your hair. Because remember, the purpose of the shampoo process is to actually strip your hair of the product buildup. But if you shampoo your hair too often, you can be stripping your hair too much of its natural oils that it produces. And in that case, that's when shampooing too much can be damaging to your hair. The next question that we tend to ask our clients, if they end up having a scalp condition, is, do you experience dandruff or flakiness? In her case, she said somewhat. We're aware that she's dealing with 2 different things. She's dealing with dry scalp as well as hair loss, visible hair loss within her crown area as well as her hairline. Next, we're going to ask them to describe their hair. And she described her hair in three ways. She said her hair is dry, it's damaged from heat, as well as thinning. So now we're understanding what she is seeing on a day-to-day basis as far as her current hair condition. Again, this particular point of the consultation is speaking directly to what the client themselves are experiencing and seeing when it comes to their hair. We're not speaking in terms of my professional opinion as being a licensed cosmetologist. I want to basically know, how well do you know your hair? Even if what you're saying is incorrect, I want to know, what do you know? Next, we are going to ask her, how often do you apply heat? This question plays a part in her saying that she feels as though her hair is damaged from heat. So if you're someone who feels that your hair is damaged from heat, you need to be asking yourself, or you need to know the answer to the question of, how often do you apply heat? And in her case, she said 2 to 3 times a week. To the average person, they may feel that 2 to 3 times a week is not a lot. But when it comes to styling tools, you need to know the proper settings or temperature settings that your styling tools need to be on in order for you not to incur heat damage. Next is, how do you prefer to style your hair? This question is a huge question in terms of what my client is experiencing. And the reason being is because, like I told you guys on part 1 of the video, one of the reasons for hair loss can be these styling techniques that are used on your hair. That can play a part. The way she answered this question was she wears her hair blow dried and styled. The next thing that we did after that question was me basically going into detail and asking more detailed questions. What type of styles does she wear? And she ended up answering and letting me know that she was someone who would wear ponytails. When you are wearing your hair in a ponytail, whether it be your natural hair or you're using hair extensions to complement the hair length that you already have, or to enhance the hair length that you already have, your hair is a part of your body, therefore your hair is going to react the same way that your body does. For example, your body gives you signs before you get sick. So for some people, before they get sick, they know that they'll start to get headaches, or they'll start to get a little sniffle in their nose, and they know that's when a cold is coming on. Your hair does the exact same thing. So one of the ways that I like to explain to my clientele in terms of paying attention to their hair is, when you notice that your scalp is red and it's becoming irritated, that's a sign that there is tension present. So what you need to do is you need to make sure to alleviate that tension. Either you take out the hairstyle. Well, not even either you take out the hairstyle. It's a no-brainer that you need to take out the hairstyle, or you need to take out the braid that is causing that particular tension within that area. And the reason being is because how I like to explain it, first is going to be the irritation, the redness, sometimes swelling. After that, the next stage is going to be thinning, right? After you experience the thinning, that's where the hair starts balding. Those are the signs that I tell my clients to actually look for. Like I said, the very first sign is going to be irritation, inflammation of the scalp sometimes, depending on how tight one's hairstyle is, right? And with that being said, when it comes to ponytails, either you're having the ponytail at the top of your head or you're having the ponytail at the back of your head. It can cause tension regardless wherever it is. Another thing that I like to tell my clients is, if there's someone who wears ponytails a lot, me being a licensed professional, I can tell you exactly where you wear your ponytail without you having to tell me. And the reason being is because majority of the time when someone wears ponytails, they wear it in the exact same spot. And the way that I can tell that they're wearing it in the exact same spot is because there's going to be some type of thinning in that particular area, if not hair loss. That's going to tell me exactly where they wear their ponytails, or there can be breakage present within that specific area. Now moving on to when it comes to getting these braid hairstyles. One of the main things that you have to understand is when you are getting your hair braided, you're not only adding extension weight from the braiding hair to your hair, but you are also adding discomfort to your scalp if the braid is too tight. A lot of people don't understand that nowadays, within this generation, The average person that is wearing braids, their braids are either going down to the top of their butt or maybe it's going down to their knees, but no one's wearing short braids, right? So going back into physics, right? Gravity. Not only are you putting tension on the actual hair strand from the hair, the braided hair being intertwined with your natural hair, but gravity is playing a part in it as well, because the weight of the actual extensions can damage your hair. If your hair is not within a certain state to be worn within that protective style, it can be damaging. That's going to lead me into saying why I don't name braiding styles or sew-ins as protective hairstyles. I don't use the terminology protective hairstyles because if the hair is damaged prior to going into that install, then it's no longer protective. The only thing that's going to happen is if you're getting your hair braided and your hair is already damaged, it's already weak, the only thing that braids are going to do is further enhance the damage that's already done. Now, if you're going into the actual style and your hair is within a healthy state, your hair is strong, it's not fragile, it's not brittle, you're not experiencing any type of breakage, then you can say it's a protective style because you're keeping your hands out of your hair, right? And you're just letting your hair grow. If that's not the case, then what exactly is the style protecting if the hair is already damaged? And that's the main thing that I explain to all of my clients. If the hair is already damaged, what is the style protecting? There's nothing to protect because the damage is already done. All it's going to do is increase the damage that's already there. And a lot of people don't understand that. So it's very important for you to have not only someone who knows how to do the styles that you like, but someone who specializes in natural hair care as well. Because you want to make sure that prior to going into these hairstyles, your hair is in a state to which it can withstand the style in itself. Because you don't want your hair to be damaged by the time you take the hairstyle out. You don't want to experience breakage or have a lot of split ends by the time you take the hairstyle out. Because then that's where you jump into having to do a big chop. And a lot of people don't like a big chop. And the main thing that people associate with big chops is hairstylists being scissor happy, when sometimes that can be the case, but majority of the time, that's not the case. Because if your ends are split, there's no way to repair split ends. But that's jumping into another video for another day, so we're gonna stop right there on that segment. Going back into the consultation form. The next thing that we asked her was, what products do you use in your hair? The reason why we're asking what products do you use in your hair, because we want to know what products are you used to using when you shampoo your hair, when you condition your hair. Are you using a heat protectant? Are you using some type of serum? What exactly is it that you're doing to your hair? In her case, she answered she's not using anything consistently. So when she says that, I'm asking her, what do you mean by that? Because at this point, I need you to be specific, in which she advises to me that she just uses anything. She doesn't have a specific type of product that she needs. So that right there lets me know you don't know anything about your hair. And if you don't know anything about your hair, you're going to pick up any and everything, even if something is going to be a disadvantage to your hair. The next question is, what is your biggest concern? The reason why we're going to ask this question during the consultation is because you may have, in her case, she has three different things that are, three different challenges that her hair is going through. One, she's experiencing dry scalp, dry hair. Two, she's experiencing breakage. And then three, she's experiencing thinning. The reason why we're going to ask you what your biggest concern is because we can't tackle on all three of them at the same time. We have to actually work on one at a time. And your biggest concern is going to be what we're going to work on first. And then after we are able to overcome the biggest concern that you have, then we're going to work down the list of the other concerns. In her case, it was the hair loss at the crown. Again, she was experiencing it for 5 years. Her ultimate hair goals, we were asking that with the next question, what is your ultimate hair goals? And she said healthy hair and to repair the damage. Next, we're going to ask her if she has any allergies that we should be aware of, because that's very important for you to know if you have any allergies. You got to know what type of ingredients are in these products that you're using, so therefore you don't have an allergic reaction. The next question, which this is another important question that I feel like everyone should be asking when it comes to consultations. Are you currently taking any medications that have strong side effects affecting your hair and skin? If yes, please list them. The reason why we're asking about your medications is because a lot of people overlook the fact that the reason why your hair can be acting or reacting the way that it's reacting is because of the medication that you're taking. If your medication has a side effect for hair loss, that could be the reason why you're experiencing hair loss. You have to remember, at the end of the day, us being licensed cosmetologists, we aren't medical doctors, so we can't prescribe you with anything, nor can we tell you what's going on with yourself internally, which is why I make sure when I meet with my clients, I'm letting them know, hey, when was the last time that you had a physical? What did they say? How did your blood work come back? I'm not asking those specific questions because I want to be nosy or in your business. I'm going to ask you those questions because I want you to understand that your overall health plays a part in your hair's health as well. We can do everything under the sun to help your hair, to help you overcome your hair challenge. But if it's an internal issue, we can't do any, cosmetologists or stylists in general, we can't do anything to help you internally. You have to be in charge of that. As a result of the consultation that me and the client had, we were able to come up with a strict 6-month regimen that fit her current lifestyle. Now, before we divulge into the details of what that regimen consisted, I do want to just give you guys a glimpse of how we started. This picture right here is how we were able to start. Well, not how we were able to start, but what we actually started with. And this picture right here is the actual journey that she embarked on, and it goes from December to April. So from December up until April, this is the progress that we were able to have, the transition that she went through. Now, the details in regards to her regimen was we started her off with a salon regimen. Now, the reason why we have a salon regimen and then a take-home regimen is because when it comes to overcoming your hair challenges, there are certain things that can only be performed at the salon, and then there are things that you can perform at home as well. Included in her salon regimen was the use of our reconstruction system. The reconstruction system is available for salon professionals only, and it consists of a pre-treatment as well as a shampoo and a conditioner. With the use of the reconstruction system included in her salon regimen, we were able to follow up with the hydration growth leave-in as well as the hair and scalp mist and the growth serum. Those 3 particular products she was able to use at home as well outside of the salon, so she was able to purchase those. Now that we've disclosed what type of products she's actually used in the salon, now we're going to touch base on how often she was to be seen in the salon. Because of her hectic lifestyle and everything that she was going through at that particular time, we were able to come to an agreement, and she was only to be seen at the salon once. So every 3 to 4 weeks, once a month. With that being said, because I am only seeing her every 3 to 4 weeks or once a month, that meant that she needed to make sure that she stayed on top of her at-home regimen. The less salon visits that you take when it comes to any hair challenge that you have, that means that it is more of your responsibility to do the work that is required at home. You have to be very consistent. You have to be strict in order for you to make the progress that you want in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, when I say shortest amount of time possible, I'm speaking in terms of not overnight success, not 1 to 2 month success. I'm speaking in terms of either sometimes, depending on the scenario, it can take 90 days to fix or to overcome. It can take 60 days, or sometimes it can take longer than that. So it really just depends on the specific challenge at hand. But again, all of that is disclosed during the consultation, hence which is the purpose of the consultation to begin with. But back to the client's regimen, she was only be seen in the salon once a month, every 3 to 4 weeks. So at home, she had to make sure that she stayed on top of what it was that she was supposed to do. One of the things that was professionally recommended for her to do, was to make sure that she stayed hydrated, make sure she continues to drink water. And the reason being is because if you're someone that's experiencing dry hair and scalp, that just means that your hair is dehydrated. Going back to what I was saying before, what you consume plays a huge part in your hair as well. If you're not staying hydrated, if your body isn't hydrated, it can show through your hair and scalp. So you want to make sure that you're drinking enough water. As well as if you are someone who has vitamin deficiencies, you're taking your supplements, because having deficiencies can play a part in your hair as well. It can cause damage, it can cause hair loss. Hence, which is why, again, earlier in the video, I've stated how important it is for you to make sure that you are consistent when it comes to getting your annual physicals and speaking with your doctor and getting that blood work done and seeing what it is that your body needs. Not only that, she had to make sure she kept in mind the food that she consumed, making sure that she's eating her fruits and vegetables, making sure that if she needs it, again, in addition, she's drinking that water. So all of that is going to play a part in her take-home routine. She's not going to be able to not do it, because it can cause a huge negative impact on what it is that we're working on, right? So she doesn't have that leeway to fall off her regimen, because if she does, because she only sees me once a month, it can potentially take us back to square one. And as you can see with the before and afters, she was consistent, which is why she was able to transform the way that she was with her hair loss. Again, the good thing is we were able to catch the hair loss before it became permanent, because there is a such thing as permanent hair loss, right? So because we were able to catch it in time, she was able to fully recover. Now, with that being said, another thing that I do want to make note of, or another thing that I do want you guys to be aware of, is this. It's going to take time, and you have to make sure that you're willing to trust the process throughout this entire journey that you're going to embark on. Because the only way that you're going to know if something works is if you're consistent with it. It's not going to be a case where you're on a regimen for one day and then because you don't see results, you stop. That's not really how it works when it comes to overcoming your hair challenges. It takes time. So you have to be patient, you have to trust the process, and you also have to be consistent. Another thing is, also, like I mentioned, she had to cut out the fact that she was getting sew-ins, so she could no longer get sew-ins. She could no longer do ponytails. She could no longer do braids. The most that she could do was have her hair braided straight back and take her wig on and off at night. In regards to that, she was recommended to actually use the growth serum that we offer or that we provide. And she was to use that twice a day. With her using that twice a day, she was also supposed to massage her designated areas, which was her hairline as well as her crown, in a circular motion for 5 minutes. What that did was that stimulated her red blood cells, which encourages hair growth, right? So with her doing all of the tips that I've told her to do at home and being consistent and making sure that she came to me when she was supposed to come to me, we were able to fully transition her. She was able to fully recover from her hair loss. Who would have thought that a hair challenge that she's been having for 5 years was able to be successfully overcome in just 6 sessions? Who would have thought, right? So that right there just goes to show you that it's not always about the time, but more so it's about the products that you use, and also having that hair care specialist in your corner that can assist you along with the journey. You just have to be willing to start, right? All it takes is for you to start. Don't exit out this video just yet. Guys, if you are interested in purchasing our products, make sure you go on our website at www.labelhairco.com. If you put your email address in the subscription box, you will get a coupon code sent to your email address. You'll get 20% off your first order. Yes, we said it, 20% off. Again, guys, we are here to help you regain your confidence within your inner self. We are here to help. So anything that we can do, please just let us know. Until next time, we love you guys. Bye-bye.